First and foremost, I want to talk about disruptors. And we are living in a world of huge amount of disruptors, more than I've ever seen ever beforehand. So the first part of this is I want to talk about the media. So the media, briefly, you'll find that 60 to 70% of the content of the media is focused on one item and one agenda at the moment, which is the government's agenda. And whether we have, the referendum earlier or later, or when the referendum is going to be, it really doesn't matter. But it is a little bit of a disruptor. Not everybody's in play with it. I understand that what's actually happened is the amount of acceptance with it has dropped dramatically since it was first initiated, which I think is to be expected. Now, whether I'm pro-voice or not pro-voice is really, really relevant. What's relevant is that the media is forcing so much stuff down your throat that you're reducing your dollar productive activity on a daily basis. So I say to you, you might want to think about reducing the amount of media content you listen to and watch. You may want to pick and be more choosy about what media content you watch so you get the right information. And it's not for me to give you that. Right? The other thing is with the media content, generally speaking, what we've found in our business, it became a topic of discussion initially. Now we don't even discuss it. And when we're on site with our tradies, we don't discuss it. When I've been in seminar forums, it's very rarely discussed because people have lost a lot of faith in the media. And the quality of the media, in my opinion, has dropped off quite dramatically. So the second thing is politics. Wouldn't it be nice if the politicians spoke about things that would create a better economy and not got on a vote getting exercise in every media event that takes place? So the purpose of this video was to get across, for some of you that get lost in all that, it's up to us to speak to our local members and get them on track with what is best for us and for our communities. And I'll give you, for instance, there is an old saying, and I'll personalise it a little bit, but for evil people to prosper, good people do nothing. So therefore we need to speak up and we need to say, that's not acceptable, this is not acceptable, and that's not acceptable. And no matter, and I'm not relating it to one particular thing, when you have a look at the government overall, our politics in relation to what I saw initially in the last 10 years, the quality of our politicians, I believe, have dropped. The quality of the content of what they want for the economy has dropped. I don't think that we're very savvy in relation to our spending on infrastructure, etc. As a development business, we look very much at where we spend our investment dollars based on infrastructure spending, a whole range of different things, transport, a whole range of other items, which are probably too many to mention right now. So in saying that, what I would say to you is this. If you've got the shits and you're not happy and you think the government's wasting money, you need to be breaking the balls of your local member. That's what you need to be doing. Thirdly, business. From a business point of view, what I'm finding is the dollar productive activity or the productivity of the people that we're using generally has dropped off. So therefore, we are not getting dollar for dollar what we were beforehand. And the day that my dad took me to my first job, and these words have stuck with me all the way through my life, is if someone's paying me $1, I want to give them $1.20's worth of effort back. So I want to give them more. Now there is a thought process that I deserve more or I'm entitled to more, whatever it might be. But there are some things that our younger people are now accepting, and I find them very, very difficult to attune to. And they are these: the first time that you do something good for somebody it's actually called a gift. The second time, it's appreciation. The third time, it's expectation. And the fourth time, it's entitlement. And we are very much now in business, we are in the E area. We are in the entitlement area right now. People feel like they're entitled to be paid more, and do less. And we talk about the 4-day work weeks and all those sorts of things. And I haven't reviewed or looked into that enough to see whether every industry should be like that. There might be some that could work really well that way. But we speak about everything as if we're entitled to it. So the work ethic part of the community seems to have dropped off a little bit. And at the start of COVID, what did we notice as builders and property developers? All the costs went up. Yes, material costs have gone up and we try and manage those, but labour costs went through the roof because people were greedy and started to take advantage of where they thought things could go. So I understand that we're in a free market. I get all that, but sometimes we're raping the apple and not leaving any core. So we need to be very, very, very careful with that. The last thing is personal. So on a personal basis, these things here very much affect the last one, because you tend to go home and all your discussion content is negative. It's not productive, and it's not what can we do to help the new staff member at work. It's a very negative type field, I found. So in our house, we don't have the mobile phones at the dinner table. We only talk about money actually in this study or in my office. It's not spoken about through the house. We have some little rules that work really, really well for us. So, and you might want to have a look at that as a whole. So if that sort of helps you, that's an overall view of where I think that we're at. The good of the many, in my opinion, does outweigh the good of the few. And at the moment, everything seems to be concentrated on the good of the few. Thanks for listening.